Welcome back everybody. So in today's video we will be going through the process of creating Redshift Serverless on AWS environment. So let's get to it. Alright, so like I mentioned, in today's video we will be going through the process of creating Redshift Serverless on AWS environment, and this is an update of a previous video that I made on the same topic where I went through the process of creating Redshift Serverless on AWS environment. But that has been a while, and I've seen there have been some changes on how to create Redshift Serverless, and this is as of January 1st 2025. Okay, so I'm making this video on the New Year's Eve. All right, so I'm not celebrating outside with everyone else. I just saw today that there have been some updates on how to create the environment, so I just wanted to show you that. Okay, and again, this is on the as of 1st 2025. All right, so to create Redshift Serverless cluster or environment, all you have to do is log into your AWS account and navigate to Amazon Redshift, or just go to the search bar here and just search Amazon Redshift, and this should bring you to the AWS Redshift dashboard. And once you're here, you will see actually that you get this tab right here that gives you, I think this is info panel, that is asking you to try the Redshift serverless cluster. Now this is, previously we used to have the provision version where we had Redshift running on a compute cluster, and you had to create the compute instance, and with that one, if you didn't shut down, then you'll have to pay for the amount of time when the compute instance is running. But with Redshift cluster, it only bills you for the queries that you run on the environment and the data that you store in Redshift. So Redshift Serverless, I've been using it. It's pretty neat and it's pretty good to use. So to create Redshift Serverless, all you have to do is just go ahead here. You can create preview workgroup, or just go to this one, and actually we'll go to this one. The first thing that you need to create is the workgroup. So just go here where it says create workgroup and just click it. And right here you need to enter your workgroup name, and I'm just going to call this one Sandbox Workspace. Okay, so you can enter whichever name you like, and I'm just going to leave most of the default settings in place. So this one is the base capacity. You can choose a second one here. I'm just going to leave the first one, and I leave the default RPUs as 128, and I will not choose anything else here. I will leave the IP4 address selected for this. You can choose this dual stack if you like. The VPC, this one I only have one VPC, so I'm just going to use that one. And the security groups I will use for this one, you can go ahead and create a security group for this one, and actually we can do that. We can go to security group. So if you go to VPC, actually it's in EC2. Just go to EC2 and go to your security groups. And I do have 4 security groups currently. I'm going to delete this one that I was using for Redshift before. Actually, this one is cannot delete it because it's associated with other things. But you can go ahead here and create a security group, or you can even use an existing security group. But I just want to show you from scratch. So you can go ahead and just create a security group right here. And I'm going to call this one my Redshift Sandbox SG. Okay, like that. So this will be my security group, and I'm just going to call this one connects to Redshift, and the VPC will be the same one that we have selected on the other side, which is the default one. For the inbound rules, okay, we'll leave the outbound. So we have outbound rule currently. This is the outbound rule, custom rule, and it's open, which is okay. You can add more outbound rules if you like, but I'll just leave this one as it is. The only thing that we need to do here is the inbound rule. I'm just going to add inbound rule that is getting traffic from Redshift right here. We'll go to Redshift here, and I am going to add traffic from my IP, and this is going to then allow traffic to flow from my IP address, which is my machine that I'm using, to Redshift. Okay, so this is only going to be good if I want to say connect to Redshift from my local machine, and it's going to be using this security group. Okay, so then I'm just going to create this security group, and this security group, you can see here it's called my Redshift security group. So if we go back to our Redshift now, I think we do need to refresh this page again. I don't know if it's going to show immediately because we just created here, it's not showing. So I have to refresh this page again. Okay, so I will refresh it so that we can be able to use that security group, and I'm just going to call this one again Redshift Sandbox Workspace as a name for our work group, and I think we'll leave the rest of this. This was our VPC. The security group, you see it's by default selecting the default one. You can use the default one, but in this case I just want to use the one that we created, and that one was Redshift Sandbox. Let's see the security group that yeah, this one right here. This is the one that we created, connects to Redshift. This is the security group that we just created. That's the ID for that security group. And now we can go ahead. The subnets, we have the subnets. We'll leave the subnets as selected. We have about 6 subnets now, right now, and we'll leave this one selected. And then for the enhanced VPC routing, I'm going to actually turn this one on, and then we go next. And now once we created our work group, the next thing we need to do here is our workspace, and I'm just going to call this one a sandbox, like so, as the workspace. You can name the workspace as, you know, to whichever name you like. Okay, and so we have now this next section here for database name and password. Okay, so you need to, by default, the database name that comes is def, and now you need to set the credentials for this. So I'm going to customize this. I'm just going to select the customize, and by default you get the username as admin, and you can choose to manage your admin credentials in secret manager, or to have Redshift generate it for you. And this one, you know, Redshift will generate it automatically. I'm just going to go with the third one here, where we will choose our password, and I'm going to enter the password for this environment right here. So just enter password that you can remember if you go with this third option here. And now the next thing that we need to do here is to create an IAM role. We need an IAM role, and you can read here, associate an IAM role so that your serverless endpoint can load and unload data. Okay, so this will be the IAM role that will let you, if you want to unload data from the environment to say S3, or bring data from S3 to the environment, then you can use this role. So we can go ahead and say create one here, and so you can create the default IAM role, which is this one here, uh, and create an IAM role without specifying S3 bucket. Okay, so you can use that, or you can do the second one here or that. I'm actually going to go with the second one. I don't, you know, any S3 bucket should be able to load data to this Redshift cluster, and Redshift cluster should also be able to unload data to S3. Okay, any packet. So I'm going to go with the second one, and then we just go ahead and create this. And you can see now we have this role created, and we'll just go ahead and select this one, and this one will be applied once we create this once we create our cluster. Okay, it will be associated with this environment or with your serverless cluster. Okay, so you do need the IAM role, and then from here you can then go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and say next. Here you can see your data is encrypted by default with an AWS owned key. Okay, so if you have your own key, then you can customize this, but I'm just going to leave it as it is. Then click next here, and now you have your VPC. This is your summary really. So you have your work group created here, and you have the RPUs 128. You have your subnets, and the name of your namespace is sandbox. You have your database as the default database really is dev. You can create more databases once you create your serverless cluster. And then the username is admin, and of course you created your password. All right, and then from there we can just go ahead and create this environment. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and hit create, and this one is now going to create our, okay, so there's a throttling don't know, there's a warning here. I don't know what this one is about. I think we can ignore it. Okay, so this is going now to create our serverless cluster, and you can see it is, let's go to the sandbox here. Let's see what's going on. Okay, can throttling, you can ignore that. Okay, so it's modifying now, and so let's I'm going to post this video and come back once it's done creating. It might take a few minutes before it uh, fully creates the environment, so we'll come back once it's ready. Okay, so our sandbox environment has now completed creating, and you can see right now here, if you come to your Redshift dashboard, you will see your sandbox here, which is your namespace, and you do have your workgroup here. So if you click into your namespace, you will see the workgroup here, and the workgroup is the one that really brings you into your environment and all the settings. Okay, so once you come to your workgroup now, you'll see all of the information, including your workgroup, your namespace, the ARN, and the endpoints, the JDBC endpoints. So these are the endpoints that you can use if you want to connect from your local environment. Okay, so you can scroll down here and you'll see we have the VPC, we have security, and the some of the settings that we made. Now to connect to the environment, you can actually use now the browser version to connect to your environment. So you can come right here and click here where it says query editor v2, and this will give you a browser editor where you can now actually connect to your environment and start using it. So you can see I'm going to close that. So the first time you hit this, let me just cancel that. So you will see here your serverless work environment is created here. You will see your serverless. This is what we just created. Now if you want to see what is inside here, to see the databases and all of that, all you have to do is just click here to expand it. The very first time that you do that, it's going to ask you here to log in to your environment, and we can go with the second option here to use the database username and password because we created that. Now if you did the secret manager, then you can go with the third one and just choose the secret, but in this case we're just going to use the username and password. So I'm just going to put the name of the database here as dev. The name for the username was admin. It was admin, and I'm going to enter the password right here. Okay, and just go ahead and then create the connection. Okay, so this is then going to connect to your database now and let you into your environment. Okay, there we go. So you can see now we have our environment right here, and by default you see two sections here. You see native databases. These are the databases that are within Redshift. So if you create a database within Redshift, so it stores the data in Redshift and all of that. If your data is stored really in Redshift, then that is a native database. So you can see here we have dev, and we have this sample database that you've been given. Okay, and this external one, I believe this is the one that stays in Glue or S3 and things like that. Okay, so now successfully you have created your Redshift serverless environment, and from here you can go ahead and run your query. So let's go ahead and try to create a database here. So we are going to create, let's say, create a database. Let's call demo. Okay, so if you create demo database, then let's see if we are able to run this. So just click run, and there we go. So you can see now that you can successfully run create your database, and you can see the results right here. Now if you refresh this, then we should have 3 databases now under the native database. So there we go, you can see, and that is that database here. So you can go ahead and create your schemas, load your data, and start using the environment as you wish. Okay, all right guys, so that is just quickly how you can create Redshift serverless. As you can see, it didn't take us a long time. It's pretty straightforward to create and provision Redshift serverless, and from here you can start using it. Alright guys, that's all I had for in this video. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please give thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you have not. Okay, I'll see you then in the next video. Bye bye.